Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And this is the Week 6 recap and waiver wire edition of fantasy football. Harsh reality.
Reality.
Okay. So much happened. What a week. I got knocked out of our guillotine league after being top three every week so far. And
It was
then,
between us. It was
yeah,
between me and you. One of
yeah.
us was going to go.
And the Scattaboo thing ended up not making a difference because you beat me by, I think, 12 points.
I beat you by a Bijan.
Yes, and I had the I had only I switched out Scattaboo for McConkey, so one got 30, one got 20, which normally would not be a deal breaker, except literally every other person in the team got injured. Baker Mayfield, while still slinging it, lost all of his receivers. Amika Becca, of course, lost for a
That
few
was so
weeks to a
close.
hamstring. Um, uh,
Yeah.
and Cleveland decided to do nothing but throw the ball. Let's forget about Quinshon Judkins. Let's
What did you
forget it.
say it was? We looked it up. What was the amount? Was it in the 50s, right?
51 attempts.
Fi-
It may have been 50. I think it was 51 or 52
I remember
pass attempts.
52, I
Yeah,
thought,
I think it
but
was
anyway, it
52
was in the
attempts.
50s.
It was an insane. They were on, let's get right into it, because they were on the 3 or 4 yard line, first and
Right?
goal.
Yep.
Didn't try to run it one time.
Yeah.
3 unsuccessful pass attempts, one of them
Taking a play
resulting in
right
a
out of
in a
the
in a
yeah,
sack.
taking a play right out of the Ravens playbook, you
It
know?
was it was it
You've got
was
Derrick Henry. You've got Quinshon Judkins. You're at the goal line. You've got four downs.
yeah,
You do all four with those guys, 90% success rate for
yeah,
a
if
touchdown.
not greater.
Yeah, I mean, right?
And instead they're like, and the pass game hadn't been working all day. They were only down there, I think, because of a foul. So I mean, it's not like, listen, he's been hot.
Right.
I even texted you. I said their play calling is baffling because it literally felt like I was just watching a preseason game where they absolutely weren't trying to win. They just wanted to run drills. And it's like, all right, let's have him throw it there. All right, that didn't work. Let's try him throw it into the top. Okay, that didn't work. All right, let's have him try
Yeah.
this. Like they were just trying stuff with
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, like just trying so desperately. Dylan Gabriel is so fetch. They are trying so hard to make fetch work. They
Right.
want it, and I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist person, but you know a conspiracy when you see one. There are times when you're like, there's something rotten in Tudmark. This whole thing stinks. And I'm sorry, this whole thing stinks of just doing anything to prove that Shador was a fifth rounder. That's just all, and to keep him off the field. They will do anything. They will waste a whole game just trying to get Dylan Gabriel some reps to
A whole
prove.
season.
Oh, I find the whole thing baffling and
Yeah.
disgusting, and to be quite frankly, you can't play anybody except even maybe the defense, and that's about it. I think they're just a garbage organization who just make
Well,
garbage
hold on.
choices.
Hold on. Hold on. You can still play Quinshon Judkins. They'll get back to him. You can still play him. He had one bad game. I'm
He
not,
didn't have a bad
I'm,
game. He didn't have a bad game. They refused to give him the
I
ball.
mean, what I mean, right, correct.
And so
There was
long as
one,
they're making those choices, you can't play them until you see them start making better choices.
I'm sure they learned their lesson. I'm sure.
You,
I'm not afraid to play Quinshon Judkins
we're
this
talking
week.
about the Browns here. We're talking about the
He's
Browns.
playing, yeah, but he's playing against Miami this week. It's such a good matchup. They know it. It's
So was
there.
the
They'll use
Chargers
him.
match, although Kamani Vidal looked great against them. So,
Yeah. So they'll
um,
use, I think, anyway, we digress on that point. I think you could still, I will probably start him in at least half of the leagues that I have him.
well, that's how it was with Scatterboom. Boy, we're good at that. All right. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started, well, but also when you have him in a lot, we have one player across a lot of platforms. I don't like to play him everywhere because, especially if I don't have to, because I don't like one player to take down all
Yes.
my teams.
Yes. When
Imagine
you
you
put,
have Amika Ibuka across all your platforms. You probably played him in all of them, and he
that's
probably
me.
crashed most of those teams.
Well, luckily, in some of them, I got lucky, but yeah, in most of my leagues, I am really scrambling. I thought it was maybe I was in denial. I thought, oh, he's just out for this game. It's not going to be a multiple week thing. It's a hamstring, and it is going to be probably
Multiple
multiple
games.
weeks. And just when you were, I mean, so it's hard. It's hard out there. But if you want to talk injuries, there were a couple more. I mean, Puka Nakua, this was your number one overall, getting more targets than anybody.
He's
Marvin
the one.
Harrison
That's the other
Jr.
one. He's the one that sank my. Sorry, he was the one that sank my guillotine league.
Absolutely. I mean, he's sinking everybody. You thought you were safe. You had such a great. This guy was guaranteed money. He was going to get 20 targets a game. Is what it felt like. It was super
Oh,
close to that.
yeah. It
He
was
was getting
magnificent.
17, 18 targets, which is nuts.
Yeah.
But now he's gone. Now Marvin Harrison Jr. is in concussion protocol. My guess is he will not come out of it. I mean, did you see the head?
Hmm, hmm.
You know, I don't think he'll be cleared for this week,
I
right?
would be surprised if he was too.
And then
Especially being who
Calvin,
he is, I
yep,
can see him wanting to take the week off.
yes, that too. Although with Brissett,
Well,
I think
oh
maybe
yeah,
I
there's
think he
the
might
other. Yeah,
actually want to. I think he might actually want to play. But will Brissett play? I mean, that's the other thing is that it's a Rico Dowdle situation,
yeah.
except the
Where the guy
quarterback
comes in and
is
looks
so much
way
better,
better than your
so much better.
starter. And you're like, is it because they didn't have any tape on him, or because he's just better?
Well, they have tape on him. I mean, Brissett's been around for a while.
Not in that particular offense.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I don't remember if he had any games that he
I think this is his first
start
year with
with them.
Arizona.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, he does bounce around a lot. It's hard to keep track, but yeah. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. Either way, he definitely looked better. I just feel like he seemed more in control. He
Yeah,
knew what his strengths were.
I feel like the Kyler experiment must end pretty soon. I mean,
Same.
it's had flashes, and that's the problem is the flashes make you think, but then the reality, the ultimate result is the same over and over again, which is bupkis.
You know what I look at him as now that you say this? You know what he is? He is a slightly better version of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you see this insane game and he throws 5 touchdowns and runs 1 billion yards and he's out there and it's crazy amazing. But most of the time, it's garbage and
Yeah.
it's not going to work. And it's gone on too long for both of these guys, you know?
Another organization who, had Kyler, no backup plan, and also passed 4 times on Shador Sanders. And I'm not saying Shador is going to be great. Again, just the idea that someone of his caliber to fall that far, to have all these teams pass repeatedly with no
Yeah.
better backup options, no other future stocks, and just act like, no, we just don't believe in him at all. I don't buy it.
Yeah, how do
I
you
don't buy
think
it.
the Saints, if the Saints could go back today with what they've got with Spencer Rattler, and he's trying, bless his heart,
Again, another organization.
would they
You're
keep
like,
would they
really?
keep
You don't
would
need
they
him?
would they have passed as often as they had? They were the ones I thought could use him the most.
Yeah. That's why he never
But
should. I think what were they, pick 21? They were the 21st pick.
they had a couple of early picks. They had like
Yeah.
2 opportunities early. And then when it came back around the second time, same with Oklahoma, not
Look,
Oakland,
got,
with Vegas.
yeah.
Vegas, they took Geno
Yeah.
instead. And I'm like, maybe get Shadur,
Pittsburgh, all they have is Rodgers.
Rodgers,
And they're
exactly.
like, we'll roll with Rodgers. We don't need to worry about that. Like, everything about it, it just screams conspiracy. I'm sorry. I will
Well,
go.
The Pittsburgh thing you can understand. They're selling out right now. They got DK Metcalf. They want to give him the last gas. They sold out for that to try to get
Sure.
one more shot at,
Sure.
like, you know what I mean?
But
So
again,
I
they
give
could
them a
have
bit of a
had him.
pass.
Again, they could have had him though in round
Sure.
4,
As
in round
a backup.
3.
True.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
to make sure they're developing somebody behind this ancient man
that's
who
true.
can. He's playing decent, sure, but
Yep.
who knows if he takes one good hit, he gone. I don't know.
Exactly.
The whole thing just stinks. And we already know it. It was already confirmed by Boomer Esiason when he was out there. He said the owners told the GMs to take him off their boards entirely. So the owners got together and decided in advance.
I did not know that.
Oh, did you not know that? Oh, yeah.
You just broke news to me right here.
No,
and
it's
I
out
am
there.
in shock.
Yeah.
Well, then that's not a conspiracy at all. That is a verified fact.
Yeah. It's just I only have the one guy who said it, but Boomer Esiason said it.
That one guy is
Yeah, he
somebody
was
you
like
have to
the
trust. He's
reason
an
he didn't get
insider.
drafted is because the owners specifically told the GMs take him off your board,
Wow.
which means they talked and were like, this guy's a punk. He shouldn't even be he should be grateful to play in our league. We shouldn't even draft. And they colluded and decided, okay, he's still going to go to you, but we're going to let him fall all the way down to the 5th round.
Man, could you imagine being at one of these owners' meetings? Like what that must be like,
I
where
mean,
you
that
meet.
must be what it's like. And anyone that's
Yeah.
ever been around powerful people, and I
Yeah.
have many times in my life, you realize that this is how deals actually get done.
Hmm.
Okay. And that's why when you see people who are very successful, but then you like realize they have family, especially in entertainment, and then you realize they have family ties much higher up the ladder, you begin to realize, oh, that's how the deal got
Nepo
done.
baby.
It
Yeah.
had nothing to do with that. It had to do with all that. And that's literally how deals are done. Almost everything is a backroom deal. Almost everything is a handshake deal, a golf deal. Everything is done
Yeah.
away from the table. Then they get to the table and
Over a
act like,
cigar and
yeah,
a
yeah,
drink. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, in a cognac. So
A
that's the way
cognac.
stuff
That's the one I was
really,
looking
yeah,
for.
and that's how stuff really gets done, and
Yeah.
that's how Shador got screwed.
Well, I think that they've all, although I guess you know what, they really don't care. They've got more money than God, and they don't care, and they like playing God, and this is their
I was
way
gonna
of doing
say,
it.
and that's the thing,
This is their way of playing
that's
God.
the
They
thing.
get to
When
do
we
it.
watch football, we're watching a different game than the game they're watching.
Oh,
Okay,
for sure.
the game we're watching is two teams representing a city. The game they're watching is how can I generate the most revenue and save the most on contracts and not get stung by injuries. I mean, that's the game they're playing. That's
Yeah,
why Jerry Jones is still winning, even though he's always losing,
right.
because
Exactly.
he's playing the owner's game. He don't care about football. He cares about being the richest owner in the league and it's successful.
I do think he does care. I think before he dies, he just wants one more, and I don't think he's going to get it.
No, if he really cared about it, he would step down as GM. He cares about proving himself right.
No, that's for sure.
That's
Yeah, he
all
would
it is.
rather die. He would rather
He
die
will die
without a
on the
ring.
hill
Yeah.
of I was the one responsible for the championships, not Jimmy Johnson. He's never going to get it. He's going to die without that accolade. And this
And
Micah Parsons trade is not going to turn into the Herschel Walker trade.
and us true Cowboy fans, we know all the real glory goes to Barry Switzer.
Oh, of course. Obvi.
I mean, clearly. There was two more injuries. I mean, one isn't that big a deal. I mean, it is. Everything's a big deal. Fantasy number one receiver. It was Calvin Ridley went down. It's a knee, I think, and right
Yeah.
or yeah, Calvin Ridley. And
Yeah.
so he's questionable. And you saw Chigakonkwo get a pretty big bump up in targets,
Oh,
but they are targets from Cam Ward, and
and
then
they
Garrett
fired their
Wilson,
coach,
right? And that
Callahan,
was.
gone. And what we traditionally see in this situation is the 1 week bump and then the slide right back down to who they really are.
But this is not traditional because guess who's coming to town? Vrabel with New England, the guy that they fired.
Right. And they're going to just
And they're gonna kick their ass.
Yeah.
I mean, and
we're going to
plus
be standing
New
over
England
them
is
going,
great.
never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Never going to run around and desert you.
You're gonna rickroll them. They're gonna get
They're going to get rickrolled, baby.
Did I ever tell you I saw a guy walking around with a shirt just had a QR code on it, and I was like, all right, I'll bite. Snapped it off, and it was a rickroll. I was like, you got
He
me.
got
That
you,
was a
baby.
clever
He got
one.
you.
Yeah. So with Callahan being fired, that was the other one, and then I don't know if this is news, but Tua did have some real talk with the media, and that happened, and we'll see if that makes the needle move at all.
Well, I mean, remember we talked about the players only meeting and that that's the only chance they had to get better. And then you find out that guys came late to the players only meeting and then some guys didn't even show up to the players meeting. Well, you know that you think you're going to get attacked when you don't show up to the players only meeting. You're like, if I show up, they're going to blame it all on me anyway, so I'm just not going to go. So, I mean.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were like, look, these player only meetings are a waste of my time. This whole thing is way beyond us. We need help from the top down. and this is stupid. I'd rather not go. This feels
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They're
dumb.
like, until Mike McDaniels is gone, this player's only meeting means nothing. And by the
Right.
same token, we had talked about that Thursday, the previous meeting with
Oh, the three. Yeah.
Hurts, and
Yeah.
and apparently it didn't do anything for him.
Well, it did the first half.
It did.
My
Yeah.
God. At the end of the first half, I was like, oh man, I totally nailed it because I said AJ was going to have 100 and over 100 and a touchdown. And at the half, he had 72 yards. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, they're targeting him. He's catching it. He had a bunch. And then at the second half, everything stopped.
Everything
The
went
whole
right back to the
offense.
way it was before their little players meeting.
And Saquon couldn't get going. The whole thing fell apart.
Dude,
The three
Saquon
people,
started out hot. Those first two runs were great. And then
I thought you
I
nailed
know,
it.
I was like, oh boy, players only meeting. And then it just fell apart. And then Scotty went crazy. And Jackson Dart high-fived the ref and all that.
That was hilarious. That's
It
one of the
was.
funniest
He
things.
got fined for it today, though.
I was going to say, I'm surprised they didn't kick him out of the game
Yeah,
because
you're not allowed to touch
the
the refs.
ref.
Exactly. I was surprised they didn't call a foul. And then when they finally handed down the fine today, I was like, and I believe they also fined the ref for not calling the foul.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yes.
I like that.
That's what I read, was that they also fined the ref for not calling the foul because you're not allowed to touch the referees. So,
Well, that's smart. Yeah, you can't allow it for some and not for others. It's not right. I did think of that when that happened. I thought it was hilarious, but I remember at the same time going, "Oh my God, he's going to get kicked out for that."
well, I thought so too. I was like, oh, here goes. And then I thought, oh, he must not have actually. I thought maybe it was like, it
Touched.
just looked like it and it just came close and it didn't actually connect. And that's why I thought they let it go. I was like, okay, he just like mime fived him. And
Yeah.
then you find out, nope, he made contact, and they were like, all right, buddy, guy.
That was clever, Jackson. You're so cute.
You're so crazy.
No, oh my
You're so
God.
crazy.
When did you start?
Kylo
Anyway.
Dart.
I think they're all everyone's fallen for this kid. He's taken over the town, the Big Apple.
Someone called it.
He's the
Someone
man.
called it. Who was it?
It
I don't
is-
remember. Someone on this podcast called it.
It was this guy right over there, right through the phone.
What's got two thumbs and called Jackson Dart and Scatterboo?
Now, I will say that the most bold thing that you did that was totally also, exonerated was you said he's going to be their Josh Allen. You made that comparison, and I was like, bruh. That's a little much. That's laying it on a little thick. I get it. Let's not get overexcited. And then I believe it was Troy Aikman who said the exact same thing during the broadcast. It was like, reminds me a lot of Josh Allen. And I was like, what?
I know you texted me. They just said that Josh Allen.
I was shocked. I was like, it was in the first game too. I was like, wow, instantly nailed it.
Listen, you could see just physically the way he moves, the way he handles the pocket, the way he's big and and can run but can still throw it. I mean, it looks very reminiscent of Josh Allen.
Well, that's a good.
And so do the rookie mistakes. The rookie mistakes are also very reminiscent of Josh Allen. The stupid.
Yeah, he's gonna hurt
little things
himself.
that exactly the little mistakes you were seeing them out of Jackson Dart too. He's not perfect, but he reminds me exactly of Josh Allen.
Oh my God! You know what? Now he reminds me of is what's his name? The one from Washington that was so good, but he played crazy and reckless, and then got hurt and never was the same. The second coming, the kid in Washington.
RG3
oh my God.
or JD
RG3, yes.
Oh, RG3. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays like RG3, reckless abandon for his body. And it's really fun.
I don't think it's the same. And the reason, again, I go with the Josh Allen thing, he's much sturdier than RG3.
But he leads with his head. He jumps into people head first. It's crazy. He's going to hurt himself.
Well,
He's going to get hurt.
That's part of being a rookie too.
I mean, he did go down on the field for like 20 minutes. They put him in whatever, they put him in the tent and everyone was like, get out. Cam Scatterboo went in, coach went in.
Yeah, boy. Another guy that got fined was Dayball for going in there and be like, let him out. What
they put Russell Wilson in.
Go into the tent.
Yeah, they put Russell Wilson in for like one play, and he almost got a delay of game and then bowled it like he threw him just the worst pass you ever saw. I was like, wow, Russ,
Dude,
you just talked yourself
awful.
out of the being inducted into the Hall of Fame with this stuff. Like, you're out with that.
Let me
I
ask you a
do,
question.
yeah.
What happened to both the Chargers and Green Bay? These are two teams that started out the season. We were like, oh, these guys clear the path. 2025 belongs to them. We got a new team to follow in the NFC and a new one in the AFC. And then both defenses and both QBs have gone from hero to meh-ro.
Well, I don't understand. I can understand Green Bay a little bit more, I think, because they don't have the wide receiver core that uh, I want to say San Diego, but it's the Los
Yeah.
Angeles Chargers have. They have it. That's a little more baffling to me, is with such a receiving core, and they did have a great running game, and then even when it went away, this Kamani Vidal comes in and is like uh, amazing. He's fantastic.
Yeah, and let me just get another I told you so in on there because I told you. I said, just because it said you think it's Haskins, it could be Kamani Vidal. I said you don't waste all your fob on Haskins, and sure enough, it was Vidal.
You know what you said was, and it was a very popular, it was very popular on our thread, but what you had said was, they don't owe Haskins anything. They don't. Nobody owes Haskins anything. It was awesome. And you were
They
like,
don't. I'm like,
personally, I think Vidal is way better than him, and he looked incredible. And if I were you, I would get him. I'd get Vidal. Forget about Haskins.
yeah.
It was popular. Hopefully, they listened to you.
Hopefully they did. I should have gone out and picked him up. I didn't know where to put him in my lineups. And I was like, meh. Yeah, and can I tell you, I drafted Vidal 2 seasons ago in Dynasty. I
Of
held
course.
on to him for 2 seasons. He did nothing. So of course, I had to let him go. I had to
Yeah.
release him. And of
The minute you
course, the
do,
second I release him, of course, I released him at the beginning of the season, but then this is the season when he finally all of a sudden, oh, come
yeah.
on. I mean,
Could have been a big boon for a dynasty, and definitely trading material in a couple. I mean, like, that's something you can nurture throughout.
you would think we'll
Sorry.
talk about that when we get to waivers.
Well, I do want to mention just a couple of quick things on those, injuries with Puka Nakua. When he went out, it was Higbee that got a big bump up,
Mm.
and when Marvin Harrison went out, it was Zay Jones and Michael Wilson. Zay Jones had more targets, but I think the connection with Michael Wilson and Brissett looked like Kendrick Bourne and Mac Jones.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
and then
That's that
Emeka,
backup to backup connection.
right, that you always talk about.
Yep.
And Emeka Ibuka, it was Kate Otten and Cameron Johnson, but Kate Otten was really the one that took the majority of the target shares. And then with Calvin Ridley, I told you it was Chigakonkwo and Van Jefferson, not Eric Eilmanor, who is who you would think it would be because he was the stud. There was some connection early.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised by it, but it was Van Jefferson, and it was only by one more target, but much further down the field too. That's Van Jefferson's thing. He's
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
speedster
Exactly.
little guy who
Yeah.
runs down and gets the big ball
Yeah.
like a Shaheed. But anyway, so just wanted to throw that out there before we jump in to the waivers. But shall
Well,
we?
I was also wrong about. I was very wrong. Well, I got a lot right. I was very wrong about Flacco to Chase. I figured that, but I blame this on the Green Bay defense. Green Bay, again, you're coming off a bye week. You're rested. You have Micah Parsons. Now, you got Denver over in London. They sacked Justin Fields 9 times. And Justin Fields can run. The Packers, coming off a bye with the famed Micah Parsons, go in there against a brand new stick figure of a quarterback in Joe
40 years
Flacco,
old.
and
Yep.
they got one sack, and that was it. The whole game had a terrible defensive showing and made Flacco look great. Flacco was hitting Chase. Now, he did have 10 receptions on 12 targets for 97 yards. And this is what happened in the second half. In the first half, no connection, nothing's happening. I'm like, told you, another one, way to go, Greg. And then in the second half, they came out and all of his routes went for under 10 yards. It was 5 yards, 3, just right on the line. Boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, he was like a slot receiver or something. And but he could get him the ball there.
Yeah.
And then it became a one-track thing. No one else existed. It was just Jamar Chase for wherever under 10 yards he might be. And it worked.
It was a one-trick pony. It's a hell of a trick.
Hell of a trick. It was a trick that they couldn't stop. And I'm watching this going, Green Bay, they have one trick. Stop the one trick. Force them to do a different trick. They couldn't do it, wouldn't do it. Again, very upset with the Green Bay defense, but they made a fool out of me. They made a monkey out of me with Jamar Chase. He ended up having a decent day, despite the fact that, because he even got to the end zone, I believe. I believe there's a touchdown.
Yes, he did.
So,
he did.
He ended up having a very, very good day, despite what, the outlook that I saw coming. And I, for one, blame the Green Bay defense more than anything else.
Yeah, and you were not alone. Everybody looks at Cincinnati and says, okay, it's Cincinnati, it's Tennessee, and it's Dallas.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to feast on offense versus these teams. And especially in this situation, like you said, coming off a bye with a stick figure of a man, everybody was like, oh, well, this is going to be Parsons is going to get 9 sacks alone, and he may not make it out of the game. Yeah. We thought maybe.
I thought they would carry him out in a body bag.
Flacco wouldn't make it through the game. So, it was weird. You're not alone.
Now, Baltimore, to their credit, did start giving Derrick Henry the ball a lot more. But then they got down there, half-yard line, okay? And instead of just having him go straight forward, I'm like, he's not a slash back. He's not a cut-and-run guy.
Juggernaut.
How is this? And I know it's not about them knowing whether it's coming. It's about them having to stop it in half a yard, which you can't. I mean, you can, but I mean, that's your best play no matter what.
Right.
Oh my God. It's just, I hate it. I outcoach myself, but I'm an idiot. Okay. I'm a layman. Look at me. I got a giant caricature picture, the artwork that fan art from when I was in my 30s. Okay. I can't, I look like a lesbian. Okay. Look, I look like a lesbian.
Peter Fonda.
No, that's me as a lesbian
Fonda.
Clown or something.
No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
So, but they make these mistakes. I'm like, what are you doing? You're professionals. Don't even just ram it in there.
Yeah, you know what? We didn't go to football college or nothing, but we could do it better than y'all.
We at least know what we're doing. Okay. We're not going to get up there and we're going to go, hey, I got an idea. Let's have them run sideways.
Yeah.
Which, another thing, okay, the Patriots, okay? Vrabel, defensive guy, and better than expected team overall. When Taysom Hill lines up at quarterback, in the Wildcat.
Yep.
And you're on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
What do you
guaranteed fade to the back of the end zone? No, of course not.
He's gonna run. He's gonna do the run out and the cut inside. That's what he does every single time. And the Patriots just look at him like, where's he going? I was like, I'm like, I ain't no professional now. But even I know Taysom Hill's going to run outside and cut inside. That's what he's going to do. Every dang time, that's what he's going to do now.
That bootleg looked a little naked.
And they played it. They played it to the middle. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what do you think he's going to do? Do you really think he's going to pass it? Do you really?
It's their version of the tush push. Like you just can't stop it for some reason. It's weird. It's a secret superpower. But then he'll get hurt in what? T-2 games? That's what he does.
And can we just change the name of the Lions to the Detroit Heimlich? Because the one thing they do is choke. Oh my God. They were my lock. They are such a paper tiger. They should have, the defense, the offensive weapons, Jahmyr Gibbs, and somehow they just see the Chiefs and they're like, I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know. You take it. Even Jahmyr Gibbs ate a dick. I don't know. The Lions just can't help being the Lions.
Well, at least they have one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league.
except they ran into an actually talented quarterback who made him look stupid.
I'm never gonna let it die. It's gonna be
You
forever.
shouldn't. He has no talent. He's not a
Uh,
talented quarterback. We see the
I think he
difference every
has
day.
talent.
We see the difference every. We just saw it. We saw a talented quarterback versus a guy who's very good and skilled in his job, very, very effective, but he got run out the room by the guy with actual
You
talent.
you do have a good point with this paper tiger thing, however, because when you look back on it, he's however long in his career he's been to a Super Bowl, he's done all these things. He got the Lions all the way to the championship game, and he lost to a rookie
Yeah.
who was an upstart. Like, he should never. They How did you lose to Washington? It
Yeah.
was weird.
And you're this, what were they, 15-2 or something last season? On just a
It was your
monster run.
year.
And then
Yeah.
it's already worth
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about the hullabaloo after the game? You know,
pointless, stupid. Only nothing makes you look like a bigger loser than starting a fight with a guy that just beat your ass. You had 60 minutes to beat him.
yeah,
Now you're going to start a fight? Come on.
yeah,
Come on, guy. Come on.
yeah. I like that Campbell came out and immediately was
Yeah, I
like,
was
"Yeah,
like,
that's
yeah, that's not
not."
right. Yeah.
Yeah, instead
And
of
let's
saying,
just say, I got to tell you, the reawakening of Mahomes is
"Yeah,
is real and amazing, and it's tough for everyone that drafted him over the last 3 seasons, I guess, two,
yep,
3 seasons, where he's
three
been,
feels like,
which despite team success, he himself has been incredibly mediocre for fantasy purposes, and now all of a sudden seems to be back. You
Mahomes
know,
magic."
yeah,
And if you
on
think it's back now, next week he gets Rasheed Rice back. How do
yeah,
you think that's going to go?
gonna go pretty good. You
But
know, if you're looking for Mahomes, he's down on Electric Avenue. Because
Okay,
he line it up, baby.
because he about to take you higher.
Yeah, he's gonna rock down to Electric Avenue. Mahomes will take you higher.
Google that one, kids. It
Yeah,
was really
exactly.
cool.
Look it up.
It was
Back in
it
the day,
was
it was
really
true.
cool back in the day.
All right. All
All right,
right, let's
waiver.
jump to
Let's do it.
waivers. Let's get to it. Quarterbacks for me, I think you can get, and again, you have to take a big I told you so on this one because you
Sam.
told them Bryce Young
Oh,
was
Bryce.
playable against the Cowboys. And once again, the Cowboys made whoever was against them, they did it to Justin Fields, they did it to Bryce Young,
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. They just make these guys and they're trash. Now, I don't think Bryce Young is trash, but he definitely has another plus matchup coming up against the
Mhm.
Jets. Grab him now. He's definitely playable again this week. He's a Leggett is coming alive. Your guy is finally starting to see the light, all because of Ted McMillan taking the heat off him.
So
I,
good. He's
an,
so good, Ted
Another
McMillan.
guy, if you got the bye week issue, or you hate your backup the way I do, Bryce Young is another great play. And my other one is Rodgers because he's going against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is not that good. I don't care how good Green Bay tried to make them look. Their defense still sucks. And I think Rodgers, especially their number one, it's in the division. I think Rodgers is going to slice and dice this week against Cincinnati. Two
And
great
take a look at
pickups.
that. Take a look at that DK thing that's been going on there.
Yeah, it's
It's
happening.
it's happening.
It's not fetch. It's happening.
It's actually happening.
Dylan Gabriel, that's fetch.
That is fetch. That was a Super Flyers deep DFS waste your money pick. But you did mention bye weeks. It's Ravens and Bills that are on bye this week,
Yep.
so you're gonna want to replace Josh Allen and James Cook and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers. For the quarterbacks, Sam Darnold. I don't understand why he's still available in 50% of leagues. I think, dare I say, that he and JSN are matchup proof. I
Quite
think they
possibly.
are.
I mean, they're definitely happening, man. They're definitely happening, and their numbers are not going down. They're staying
No,
real high. I mean,
it's amazing.
the consistency is there week over week. You have to believe in it, and it's funny because it's not like JSN is available anywhere, but
Oh
Sam
God,
Darnold
no.
is. And I think, and
Makes
his
no
numbers have
sense.
also been consistently in the mid 20s. He's a guy you gotta play him.
Yeah, and I know they're playing. Let's see, they're playing Houston, has a great defense. I understand, but I kind of feel like he's matchup proof, and he's out there. I don't know if I would let Houston scare me away if I needed somebody to replace Josh Allen. I would look at him. I would look at Bryce Young. I would look at Trevor Lawrence. He's versus the Rams. Look, it's starting to work there too a little bit. I know that it's mostly on the back of the defense, but I feel like he might be somebody that if you really are in a pinch, I mean, who would you rather start over Trevor? I see your face. Who would you rather start over Trevor Lawrence? Like
Rodgers.
if Brock, you would start Rodgers. You would start
Absolutely.
Rodgers.
Well, I mean, we're looking at Trevor Lawrence on a 2-game losing streak. He's beginning to look a little bit more like last year's Lawrence at the moment. And he's going up against a very good defense. I would not trust Lawrence this week. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, BTJ is coming to life. He's
He is? No, I
popping,
thankfully,
you know.
thankfully. But again, I'm still, I feel like, I don't know. He's a little too cardiac arrest for me. So.
Oh, well, that's fair. And then there is another guy out there that, we were talking about earlier. This week, not good. But Jackson Dart is still out there for a lot of people. I'd say, look, if you don't need someone to stream this week and you just want to stash him away, his legs are, I mean, the way he runs until he gets concussed, you're going to get a lot of extra yards. You're going to get that Josh Allen like production from the rushing.
Yeah.
Again, not this week. Probably with Denver, I would be a lot. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I would probably start Rodgers over Dart in this situation too, but I think he's somebody you
No,
can.
Dart's heating up. I don't trust him just yet, but I
Yeah,
definitely want him. I mean, I have him on the bench in one league, and I almost played him, but then I had Daniel Jones, and I'm like, I'm going to trust Daniel Jones this week, and it worked out just fine.
yes. Running backs. Well, we
Here
already
we go.
said it. Everybody took Haskins, and
Hey,
Vidal is out there.
I will
So
say this.
yeah.
Don't go blowing all your FAAB on Vidal. Great week last week. We've already seen in the news that they're still calling around for more RBs. And Naheem Hines has only been with them a week. Eventually, they're
Mm,
going to elevate him. If you think it's going to be the Vidal show, I'm afraid you're mistaken. It was the Vidal week. And if you didn't play
mm.
him last week, I'm afraid you missed the week. I don't know that he has another week like that coming, especially if they end up trading for another running back. I just don't waste, take a shot at it, but don't put yourself behind the 8 ball and spend all your FAAB to get Kamani Vidal thinking he's going to save your season. Don't do it.
How much would you spend on Bam Knight?
Another guy, and let me just say this, both those backfields are so untrustworthy.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, throw it out there, try and get him, make a reasonable offer in the hopes that maybe nobody else goes crazy on it. If someone else does, let them have it, because both of these backfields cannot be trusted going forward. You just don't know who's going to get what each week.
Yeah, they feel like band-aids. They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
solutions. They're just, they're going to cover up. So,
Yeah.
for a
They'll
week or
stop the
two.
bleeding and they'll
Yeah,
be
stop
right.
the.
And we saw like last week was the Michael Carter week.
Mhm.
If you went and tried to get him this week, guess what happened? You bam, you got knighted right in the butt. And then same thing. Haskins. It was gonna be no, it was Vidal right in the butt. So these guys, don't waste a ton of FAAB on them, because you just don't know what they're doing with those backfields. It's just it's schizophrenic.
Yeah, running back is always a very tough position on the wire anyway to fill. I mean, the only other two names that I have, I don't think you should spend much money on any of these guys. Like Greg, maybe Vidal, maybe to spend a little, not a lot,
A
but
little
a
bit
little
more than the other
more
ones. Yeah.
on Bam. And I've got Kendre Miller and Tajay Spears. Um, there's trade rumors with Kamara,
Yeah.
and he's busting down and looking a
And
little old. And
Kendre Miller is on mine. We had him
yeah,
last week. We're bringing him back
right.
this week because his usage keeps incrementally going up every single week. He's a guy you get right now. And another guy you stash right now is Manon guy in
Mhm.
Chicago. And I'll tell you why. If DeAndre Swift has proven anything throughout his career, is that this is unsustainable. He's going to break. He breaks real easy, and also he's never been this good before ever. This is the best he's ever looked. So the crash is coming. So just hold on to Manon guy right now, and it will in a few weeks be. It'll be the Vidal week. It'll be the Michael Carter week. It'll be the Manon guy week. If
Yeah.
he's not, or if you have Swift, you need to handcuff him right this second if you haven't
You need
already.
to trade him right now. Go
Yeah,
trade
you could get a
Swift
lot for
today.
Swift right
Go
now.
trade.
Yeah, you can get a
Go
lot for him right
trade.
now, and his stock will probably never be higher than after that
And
game.
grab Monange, and
Yeah,
then you'll be
depending
good.
on your position, you may have to keep him. But I mean, he was a fairly high drafted. He's like third round.
I mean, I don't know if anybody started him for this game, people who had him, because he
Yeah,
was not doing well at all. And he
yeah.
was almost unplayable. Like he was a flex at best the whole season. And then all of a sudden, this crazy looks like, I
Which
mean,
is exactly what DeAndre Swift does.
yeah.
That's what he does.
Wonder if
It's
they'll check him for
I don't
PEDs.
like him. I don't like him at all.
Mm.
He screwed me
Well,
one season. I think it was last year or the year before with the Bears, and I was like, oh, all right, let's take him. One of those
well,
where
yeah,
it's like,
last season, remember that was our blank you. That was
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
our
yeah.
honorary guy was always him, because for the first 3 or 4 weeks he just kept blowing it, dude. Every opportunity, and he was so bad. And we finally dropped him. Then he had a game like this.
Yeah. This is what he
Uh,
does. This is what he does. So trade him this week. Put him on the block. Put him out there. Get something you really need for him.
yeah, I'm almost tempted to say the same thing about Dowdle, but because we don't know how it's going to work out when
That's
they come
exactly
back,
with
and
the Chuba Hubbard
his
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, now
and
would be the
his
time to
stock
get
is
some
really
value
high.
out of him. But
But
see, I
you
think
might be screwing yourself, because maybe he really will just take over and be like a, the guy. I mean, I
maybe
know
they
they paid him
trade
the
Chuba
money.
Hubbard.
I
I
know
don't
they
know.
paid.
Yeah, it's tough to read this one. I feel like the problem is, I feel like with him, because he's a backup, I think his stock value, his trade value is going to be lower, whereas Swift is the lead guy. You're getting the lead guy. Whereas with Dowdle, that mystery hangs in the air. So I don't know you're going to get really the value you would get for a DeAndre Swift. But, if you can find a trade
After back to
partner,
back
a
200
back-to-back
yard
200 yard
games,
games, it's hard to
people are
argue
going to
with.
be
That should be worth
interested.
something. That should
Yeah,
be worth a
people
lot.
are
That should be
interested.
worth something.
Yeah, yeah.
Wide
Um,
receivers.
mhm.
I like again, and I picked him up in a couple. I even played him at one place, and boy was I glad. And that's Bourne out of San Francisco again. Now I had said Mac Jones would solidify his position as a starter. He didn't quite do that. He looked a little
No,
bit. He looked a little bit like the backup in that game against a team that I thought he should have had a much better game against. But he didn't do
wasn't it
terrible.
Tampa Bay?
It was the Bucks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I thought he was going to go down there and have a great game. He's been looking great. He's got McCaffrey, but he didn't look particularly good during that. And Tampa Bay, listen, is anybody talking about Tampa Bay's defense? No one's talking about Tampa Bay's
No,
defense.
they're saying it's not good.
And so I
Yeah,
expect him to go down there and solidify the job. He didn't do that,
good
but
point.
Kendrick Bourne managed to get another 100+ yard game out of it. So long as Mac Jones is in there, Kendrick Bourne needs to be in your lineup. And fuck the projections. They keep putting him at like 5.6 and shit like that. And then he goes out and gets 23 points. So the
Exactly,
track record is
exactly.
there. If Mac Jones is in, Kendrick Bourne is on your starting roster.
I like it.
Another
I
guy
think.
like, let me just
Yeah,
quickly I only got two more.
please.
Leggett, because Leggett is starting to warm up, and you got a situation there where it's just going to improve and improve. And unfortunately, Alec Iomanner, I know you were saying it was the other guy, but he should going forward maybe be the guy he has been before. He was getting a lot of targets earlier in the season. The quarterback hasn't changed. The coach is gone. I see a huge uptick going forward for Alec. And so he would be the guy because he was dropped in a lot of leagues. He's probably out there. Grab Io Manor.
Yep. He should. He should. I feel like it should go that way. He should be the guy that gets all these targets. Like I said, this week, it just the first time that happened without Ridley, it was Van Jefferson and Okonkwo for some reason.
Right. And well,
But I
that's an
still think it'll,
in-game thing.
it'll
That's an
switch. Right.
in-game situation. Now going
They can
forward with
plan.
practice time and planning, the
Yeah.
planning is all going to kind of shift more towards Io Manor as the wide receiver one. I would imagine that's what I think is going to happen.
Well, you know, I'm looking at the couple of these guys, and there's not a lot. There's not a lot out there, guys. There's between the bye weeks and injuries and stuff. there's everybody's clamoring. So, you got people like Kayshon Boutte. He was really good at the beginning of the season. He looked really good in this last game. Drake May is really, really good at being a quarterback. It sucks because he's so good that he's the opposite of Flacco and the one track mind and the one
Yeah.
he's everywhere. He spreads it out to so many people that it's really hard to count on anybody, including Diggs. It's
Another thing
hard.
that sunk me in the guillotine league, I started Diggs, and I mean we're 12 reception, 147-yard gain to one reception, two receptions, 2 points. He just ignored him with Demario Douglas, who has not been mentioned in again in
Right.
Dynasty. I dropped him because for 2 seasons he's done nothing. And then this game, for some reason, it's Booty
Douglas
and Demario Douglas, and just not Stephon Diggs at all.
or Ramondre
Yeah,
or Travion or anyone for the running. They
awful.
don't. Who's their top runner is Drake May.
Yeah, and I would say this: their receiving core, everyone outside of Drake May reminds me of the running back room in the Chargers and
Mm.
Arizona and Green Bay's wide receiver room, where you just don't know who it's going to be. Although we do see Golden starting to find that position in Green Bay. It's not there yet, but it's definitely coming along. It is the start of the Golden era in Green Bay, and that is starting
That'd
to
be
happen. But
nice.
he's probably not on. If he's on your waiver wire, you should grab him. But I
Oh,
doubt.
he's definitely on your wire. You could only have used him he's only had one fantasy
That's true.
relevant game.
He's another guy. Then
Yeah,
if he's out there, you should grab him because it's starting to happen
it's
finally.
heating up.
It
But
is.
again, don't forget, just a warning, Jaden Reed is coming back and Christian, what's his name?
Watkins,
Wat Watkins. Is that right? Watson? Christian
Christian
Watson?
Watson.
Watson. Christian Watson is coming back. It's gonna just be more stuff in the soup. There's just gonna be crazy out there. So, just a little warning with him. But he is awesome. And until all those guys come back, because I think uh, they're at least 2 weeks out, both of them, from returning. So, you got a couple of weeks with Golden. If you need a band-aid, and if it really starts to click, you can keep it going. He's not
I
just
see
going
it
to stop
starting to
throwing to
click,
him.
and plus those guys coming back, that didn't scare me at all. Those guys can't stay on the field. So
So Kayshon Boutte, right? They're playing Tennessee, by the way. This is a great matchup for him.
great matchup.
And Kendrick Bourne, he's in Atlanta this week. We saw their defense.
Tough matchup.
Saw
That
their
Atlanta
defense.
defense is real good. They're real. No
Looked,
one's talking about it,
I
but they're
didn't
real good.
know until I watched that game. It had escaped me. Pretty impressive. And then I like Zay Jones and Michael Wilson. They're playing Green Bay. I know the defense should be bad, but we'll see
No, they
which one
should be
shows up.
good.
I
They
mean, good,
should be good.
a bad matchup. I mean, right? It should
Yeah.
be a bad matchup, but we'll see which defense shows up.
Yeah.
So, but Zay Jones and Michael Wilson, if Marvin Harrison is out, and if it's Brissett, even though Zay had more targets, I thought the connection looked better personally with Wilson. But one of those guys, if not both, are going to get a bunch of targets.
And if we could just stop for 1 second, this news flash just came across the wire here that the Colts are signing Brett Rippon to their practice squad because in the most Colts thing of Anthony Richardson has been injured by the resistance bands.
Did you know that
he is
fractured?
now on IR? He fractured his orbital. Is that right?
His orbital bone with a rubber band.
Now, don't get me wrong; those bands are no joke. But last time I checked, he's let me check my notes, professional athlete. So,
where were the trainers? Was no one there? Go, hey, bro, you're.
I think it was one of those. Go work with those bands over there. We got to prep for a game here. Go work with those bands.
That tracks.
It is 1,000% his last season in the NFL.
Yeah, it should be. Or he should become a running back or something.
Yeah, or a tight end.
A giant running back or a tight end or something. Something other than
something
where
not
he,
a quarterback.
where he doesn't have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
That'll work.
You know what he should do? He should become an Olympian because he does have a rocket of an arm. He should just become an Olympian and go into the shot put and just, yeah.
Well,
And it
that's
just
like
has
our
to,
backup.
and it has to just go a long ways and nobody has to catch it. It just has to land. That's where he belongs.
That's like us. Joe Milton.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just
Perfect. He's got a rocket. Can't aim it.
can't aim it, but boy, he can
Got
fire it.
a rocket. Yeah. What about tight ends?
Tight ends, I got three for you. For
Let's
some
hear 'em.
reason, and I listen, this is my fetch. I have been trying to make Evan Ingram
Njoku?
happen.
Oh.
No, Evan Ingram, I've been trying to make him happen. I drafted him in many leagues. I thought he'd be the Joker on this offense, and now it is starting to happen. Don't get me wrong, he's Evan Ingram. He'll be injured in 3 games. But until that happens, it might even be next week. But until it happens, he's playable. Grab yourself a slice of Evan Ingram. Fannin, now that Njoku is kind of banged up, he got hit in the ribs, he couldn't play through it. Fannin got the uptick. I think we're going to continue to see that. And then finally, for some reason, AJ Barner is still out there in a ton of leagues. You need to grab AJ Barner. The consistency's there, the chemistry's there, the touchdowns are there. I don't know what else you need to see to go out and grab AJ Barner.
I have on my list, it's last call for AJ Barner.
Absolutely.
This is your last call
Absolutely.
for AJ Barner. If he's out there, you better get him now while you can. If you need somebody, if you're a Jawan Johnson guy, or if you thought Mason Taylor was going to fix everything or whatever, you've been rolling with Tonjes. I don't know, man, but check out AJ Barner.
And like we say, next week's price ain't this week's price. And it ain't last week's price. He was free last week.
Yeah. Next week, you're going to be $50 a FAAB next week. There's all kinds of next week. Isn't that one of the big bye weeks? Oh God. Anyway, but so I got him as last call. Fannin is my #1 priority, I think, because of the Njoku thing.
Yep.
I would prioritize Fannin, and then there's a slew of other guys that you can play right now. Michael Mayer, while Brock is out.
Yeah.
Although I think.
I think doesn't Brock have a bye week coming up?
Yeah, not
8?
this week, next week.
So they're probably not going to play him 7. Let him coach.
So Michael
8.
Mayer.
So Michael Mayer will be the guy for this week.
And they'll be playing versus Kansas City. Oh, by the way, Fannin this week in particular playing against Miami. Their defense is garbage as well. How about Higbee versus the Jags? If Puka Nacua is out, and I think he will be, we did see an uptick. I mean, I know Devontae Adams, and there's a lot of other better options than slow, old-ass Higbee, but he did get a touchdown. So,
I saw it.
I would say maybe him. Chiga Okonkwo, I mentioned him earlier. I think he had about 7 targets after Calvin Ridley went out.
That's production. You need that.
Something. And he's playing against New England. Higbee's versus the Jags, by the way. And Cade Otton, with Ibuka out, I think, what's his name? Mike Evans will be coming back, maybe. This is such a carousel of characters over there. It's hard to keep up with it, but Otton is getting a nice bump in his production. They'll be playing the Lions. It should be a very fun game. I bet you the over-under is pretty high. That bodes well. It's
going to be lower than normal. It depends on if Mike Evans plays. That's going to affect it quite a bit.
For sure. And then I have the last call for AJ Barner as well, because it's shocking that he's out there. I'm surprised that I haven't taken him myself in a few leagues where I was rolling with Johnson. I thought, I'll give it one more. I waited too long. Too long.
Yep. All right.
Defenses?
Here we go.
Yep.
We got a couple of tasty morsels here that you want to pick up and play if you're streaming, or you might want to think about them for DFS play. But Pittsburgh's defense versus Cincinnati, they're not going to pull a Green Bay. They're not letting Flacco off the hook in this one. You're looking at 4 or 5 sacks in that one. The Chiefs defense versus the Raiders. The Chiefs defense is definitely looking better, and the Raiders are looking worse. The Browns defense versus the Dolphins. The Browns defense has been the one constant shining, streak of light in this horrible brown cloud that hangs over, but they've
Factory
been
of
great.
sadness.
Yeah, the factory of sadness, and they're going against the Dolphins, the other the South Beach factory of sadness. So I think it's going to be a real nice day for that Browns defense and the Patriots defense versus the Titans. I mean, really, that should probably be number one of the bullet. I think they're going to go out there and just maul these characters. They have no head coach, they have no direction, and they're going to be allowed to like kind of run wild and do whatever they want, and it's
Yep.
not going to work. And the Patriots are just going to eat them alive. Those four defenses, pick up any one of those, and you're going to be very happy this week.
So you basically nailed every point that I have. There's only one thing that you didn't mention, so I'll add that in, and it's the Bears defense versus the Saints.
Mm.
If you're streaming, that's a pretty good option. But I do agree with you. I think if I had to prioritize, it's a coin toss. I think I'll give a slight edge to New England because the Browns in Miami, oh my God,
I know what a
it just
tasty
feels
morsel that is.
so exciting. But
Oh
we got
boy.
bit by Green Bay versus Cincy. So now I'm nervous about these gimmies, these sure things, with the defense. But I think I would
Yeah.
edge out New England because of the Vrabel factor, and their defense is freaking really good anyway. Like you might
Yeah.
want to take them and keep them,
Yeah.
you know?
But this
Uh,
game this week, oh, it's going to be a party for that defense.
yeah. So if you had both, would you do right today? Would you do New England over the Browns or tough? It's really
No,
tough call.
I'm going Browns number one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then the Patriots, Titans, then Pittsburgh, then Chiefs.
Yeah. I like it.
But
Perfect
anyone, you
order.
could rearrange those in any order, and it'll be interesting to see what they end up with after this week. And Green Bay, it turned out they had rust over rest,
Mm,
and and maybe they were just looking past them. They saw it as such a gimme. They just really didn't come out there 100%. And while they did walk away with a win, they have to be walking away very disappointed in themselves and the
right.
way that they played.
Or maybe they were just happy that they didn't have to expend that much energy and they could save it for a real game next week. I
That
don't
may
know.
also, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's inexplicable to me the way they played versus that team. So,
Well,
all right,
that's
we
all I
did it,
got, my
guys.
friend.
We did it. This has been the recap waiver wire edition from week 6 of fantasy football. Oh,
Harsh
Shriel.
reality.